Okay, welcome everybody to Stroom series. We're here speaking with Ilse. Now, Ilse is part of a band here in South Africa, and she's blessed us with her time so we can just quickly talk to her, the inspiration from where it all started. Was it just a song? Was it an idea? Was it something spontaneous that happened? And Ilse, I think my first question for you will be the following. So, I think most of us shared that same experience where you're in the shower, you're just feeling the song coming up and you sing and you're making words up and everything. And then when you get out of the shower, you can't remember anything you just sang in the shower. But from your experience, how did this whole thing start? What do you usually do?
In terms of the music, Andre is responsible for the lyrics. So he'll come up with an idea, he doesn't forget. He comes up with them while he's jogging, usually. And then he will flesh it out until the lyrics are almost done, and then I'll have a listen. And I might tweak a few things here and there before we sing, subject to his approval, of course.
Yeah?
And then we work on the melody after that.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and when it comes to writing a song, what's the most difficult part of it, except for like writer's block?
I think I was going to say writer's block is the most difficult. I don't write very often. I write very rarely. But when I do write, the whole song comes out. So I don't
Wow.
have to struggle. Where Andre takes more time, he'll agonize over every line as it goes through. So I think getting it to sound like a good song and not a bad poem
Yes.
is the fight that we all fight.
Okay, wow. Okay. But if you can tell us a bit of yourself and maybe a bit of Andre, because I know it's you two are both in the band together and you make it grow and everything. But what do you bring to the band and what does Andre bring? Because usually someone brings personality and another one brings more of the artistic type.
The creative side. I think I'm much more extroverted than Andre.
Okay?
So I think I would be in charge of personality and Andre is in charge of the music.
Wow. Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. I mean, on one of the songs on our album is written by me. So I write occasionally, but more often I just sing and yap, yap, yap.
Okay, and a bit of about yourself. If you, where did you grow up? Is it in the Pretoria, Durban? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in and around Pretoria.
Okay.
And interestingly, Andre and I met 30 years ago. My father was a musician. He was the lead singer songwriter for Silver Creek Mountain Band. So I've always been in and around music my whole life. And my dad had a club that he used to play at, and Andre used to come and visit there and play there as well. And then we lost touch, and then 2 years ago we connected again because I needed a guitarist, and that's how Ink was formed.
Wow, that's actually cool.
Yeah.
I think most of the
So
stories start like that. It's something spontaneous, just encountering a person again that you met previously years ago, and then somehow suddenly everything just fits together.
it's kind of like fate, hey?
Yeah.
You know, there seems to be higher forces working.
Yeah, and I mean, you're still very new, but do
Yes,
you still remember like the first song you guys actually wrote?
we did. It was the first single we released. I do. I mean, it was the first single we released, Winterhuis. Andre came to me. He had the words and the guitar part,
Hmm.
and I came up with a melodic line for that song, and we went from there.
Now, I've something about a personal question for every singer out there is
Yeah.
because some of them have like let's say for example 6 albums and every album has almost 10 songs on it. Now, how do you know you've memorized every single lyric of that song? So when you go on a live stadium with thousands of people listening, how do you not I almost want to say go into panic because you okay, is this the next verse or am I forgetting? Um, yeah, I'm not know because if I listen to a song a few times over and over, yes, okay, I can memorize it. But for artists and singers, like just to memorize 30 songs in your head and just perform from the get go.
I think the key is rehearsal. You play it over and over and over and over again. So if someone shakes you awake in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
you can and say second verse. You can do the second verse. It's for me. That's how it works. I just rehearse and rehearse and rehearse until I know all the words. And even if I get, because I always get very nervous before the first song. After the first song, I'm fine. And the key to combating sort of stage fright for me is putting a lot of rehearsal in before the gig.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I don't. I have so much respect for you because I won't be
Thank you.
able, like, I preach a lot, so I always have my notes with me. But with
Yeah,
a, if you're on stage, it's not always practical to have a maybe a stand with a few notes for your songs or everything. You just get up there with a guitar or a mic and you just perform. You
and you
just
go,
you
yeah,
just sing from the heart and you sing from memory. You sing from rehearsal, like you said. And there's also a lot of pressure because if it's your first time performing live, I mean, it's a lot of pressure on you just to, okay, this is the few five songs I'm gonna sing, and I'm gonna sing every song perfect now.
yeah. I think what helps me is that I've been performing for like 30 years. So and I'm, since I was very young, since I was about 15 years old. So I know what works for me before I go on stage and what I need to do, which makes it a little bit easier. But the pressure is huge,
Yes, yes.
even when you're just playing for your friends and family.
Yes, you mentioned something. You know, you what you have to do. Is there something like a ritual you used to do before you go on stage? Maybe wear a blue socks, drink something like that, or is it
I have a tequila
okay?
before I
Okay,
go on stage. Yeah.
and then Andre.
Andre, no, he doesn't drink before the gig.
Okay, and any type of ritual he uses before he
Oh
goes?
no, no.
Nothing.
Andre is quite he's quite a calm personality, so he doesn't get too stressed too easily,
Okay.
and he manages it better than I do at least.
Okay, so I have another question for you, and is what does the songwriting process look like? Is it starting just from a scratch book? Do you get inspiration from other music or movies?
I think I think everything influences you. I think even chats with your friends and your family and people you know. I think the whole of life sort of influences you. You never know when an idea is going to come up,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think you just sort of train yourself to be on the lookout for for the idea and catch it when it comes.
Okay, and
Sorry, you
if
must excuse my blocked nose. I've got bronchitis and I'm hacking away on this side, and I feel like I'm talking like I'm in an igloo.
no
Sorry in
problem,
advance.
no problem. The other question I have for you is if I can always remember artists and actors, everyone that inspired me growing up, that influenced movies I like or didn't like. And do you have artists that inspired you from a small age that you aspire to become?
I think yes. I mean, I grew up. I was very admiring of my father, um, because he was a very good musician, and even people in other professions. Like my mother is a fiber artist.
Hmm?
My brother's a tattooist. Andre's very involved with mathematics and accounting and things. I think there's inspiration everywhere, but I think that the people I dreamed of becoming would be lofty, like Dolly Parton or Emmylou Harris. Those would be my dream metamorphoses, I think, or
Yes,
who I'd
yes.
love to meet as well.
Okay. The usual thing people always like, especially if you're a writer, is like one day I wish to write in Paris, like in a coffee shop and just write
Yes,
it. So when it comes to you, where would you like to one day write a song? Actually, just sit and write a song. Where?
I'd like
Well,
to sit and write a song in a bar in Nashville, listening to some good country music.
okay, born Nashville. Yeah, I think that can work.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So speaking of Nashville, so when do you have places you visited over your career that you actually liked that you would love to go back to?
You know, this country is such a beautiful country, and I've done a couple of national tours, just little spots along the way, sort of down to Cape Town and back up again. And just every place we go has got something special about it. Nothing springs out to me. Um, off the top of my head. But if I had to pick a place, I guess I would say East London because that's where my mom lives, and I could visit her. And it's a nice town to play in. The audiences are really receptive and really welcoming. And Hoedspruit because that's where Andre's parents live, and they're also very welcoming, and we'd love to play there.
Yo, okay. Where's the next place you're going to perform? Is maybe at the end of the year now or next year? When's the next performance?
We don't actually have one lined up. We generally play at a great venue in Pretoria called Cafe Barcelona,
Yeah.
and we're also waiting on a. I'm waiting to get back to get feedback from Railways Cafe in Irene, but we don't have any dates as yet, unfortunately.
Okay. That's not. That's always exciting to hear what's on the horizon ahead.
What's up the menu? Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so the next question will be is what sort of challenges, except for writer's block, did you have to face in regards to writing songs, performing gigs, the logistics after it, everything, organizing? I think there's a lot of work behind the scenes.
There is a lot of work behind the scenes, and trying to get people to come to your gig when they've never heard you is quite tough. But we've got a great digital brand manager on board, Ria LaRue, and um, we're doing our best. So I think the biggest challenge is actually just getting people to come to gigs when they haven't heard your music before. Um, yes.
Okay, well, yeah, I can see that's a challenge always. And if you, the question in my head now is when you get on stage and you have to perform now, the MC just handed you over, introduced you to the crowd. What will be the first thing you do with the audience just to break the ice, more or less?
I think I would say hello and I would thank them for coming. That's generally what I do before giving a small description of whatever song I'm going to be playing
Yes?
first.
Yeah.
But I definitely make a point of greeting people and thanking them for coming through because it's lovely when people are there to listen to you.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people use different techniques. Some of them talk about the guitar or the jean or even the socks they wear, maybe the shoes. So everyone has their own unique way of just breaking the ice, but also
Yes.
introducing the audience to them and to their background or the song or whatever makes them special.
Yeah, yeah, I
Wow.
agree. I think that mine would be a friendly greeting and an introduction to the song.
Yeah. And if Andre is speaking, what would he say?
Andre doesn't speak very much. Andre
He's the
would
back.
announce the song name and
Yeah.
then we would begin.
Yes. Okay. So you spoke a lot about previously about artists that influenced you a lot growing up and musicians and everything. Even your father, I think you mentioned your dad.
Yes.
And if you can perform one day or collaborate with an artist, a singer, a musician, who would it be? Even if it's dead or if the person is dead or alive.
Um, I would love. I've shared a stage with Now before. I've done a song with him,
Hmm?
and I had a great time. I think he's just one of the world's best musicians, and I think playing with him again would be something.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
If someone will ask me that question, I will never know what to answer.
it's hard. Don't worry, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
That's who came to mind.
Okay, but Ilse, tell us a bit more about yourself. We know where you grew up now, but from a child, what did you love to do in your personal time as a hobby? What were your interests?
I've always been a big reader,
Yeah.
so I love reading, and an animal lover. So I've currently got two dogs. They're locked upstairs because otherwise they bounce all over the place. And horse riding, I was big into horse riding. And music, listening to music has always been a massive part of my life.
Wow.
There's always some sort of music happening, if it's whether it's jazz or country music or folk music, or my own music. I'm always sort of surrounded by music.
Okay. And if you can gossip a bit about Andre, what was his personal backstory?
Well, he says that he started guitar to get girls, and he got me, so it worked.
Definitely worked. And if you can maybe just give me an idea of your what is your dream going ahead for the band Inc. Is it performing? keep national stadiums, going abroad, overseas, performing international. Where do you see
Um,
yourself go?
we worked with Lydia Winchester for a little bit, and she was very good at getting our music out there. And we played on a radio in Belgium.
Yeah,
So I'd love to go to Belgium and play there, but I think sort of just playing gigs and having people come is my dream. I don't need to do it. I don't do it full time, so I don't need to pay rent with gig money.
yeah.
Um, but I would just like an audience and someone to sing to, and I'd be happy.
Wow. Okay. Just doing what you love.
Yeah, it's the best thing in the world.
Okay. And more or less, how many songs have you written?
Oh, I would say about 10. Andre's written a lot more. He's the main songwriter. And I've only got one. Sorry, and I'm sniffling. I'm sorry. It's the sickness. I've only got one on the album, but Andre's got much more. I think I've got about 10. Andre's got about 30, 40.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yes, he's a very prolific writer. He's a great writer.
Yeah. So out of your 10, which is your favorite?
Um, I think it's a song I wrote for my dad. I'm trying desperately to remember what it's called now. Why'd you go? I wrote it after my father's death, and I think it's sort of a way that connects me with my dad. So I'd have to say that would be my favorite.
And that, yeah, that's a personal connection you have with the
Yes.
song. Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Every
with
gig is sort of personal because it connects me to him because he was a musician, but that song especially, I think.
yes, yes, no, definitely. And with Andre,
Andre, I think that he's got quite a profound connection to his songs, but I think Winterhuis would probably be his pick because it's the first song we wrote together and the song that started us on our ink journey. So I'm hazarding a guess, but I think it would be Winterhuis.
okay. Well, I have to ask the question now. Where did the inspiration for the name Ink came from?
It actually came from a friend of ours who's also our videographer, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm quite tattooed, so he thought it would be a clever play on words for the tattoos and for writing. You know, pen on paper,
Wow.
ink,
Okay. Yes.
communication. So there was all sorts of different layers to the word, and
Almost like.
he jumped on it.
Yeah. 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 No, that's definitely unique. Okay, so I would have never guessed that's the reason for ink, but it makes complete sense now.
Oh,
I love it.
cool.
I always am amazed by how a band can choose their name because it always fits. It
Well,
just fits
apparently
perfectly.
REM just opened the dictionary,
Yeah?
and it was on REM, and that's what they named their band.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, so there's a different story for every band name, I think.
Okay. And your music currently on which platforms can
On
people
all
find
of
you?
them.
All of them.
Um, Spotify, YouTube. I'm struggling to think of another one now, but that's on all of them.
Okay, Spotify, YouTube, yeah, I think
Deezer,
iTunes.
iTunes, yes.
Okay.
The album is available on them all.
Yes. And I don't know if it's still relevant in today's time, but do you still print CDs when you have to release new music?
We haven't yet, but we
Yeah?
are going to. I've done in previous bands, I've done quite well with hardcover CDs, but that was about 10 years ago. So I think we're going to print, you know, those little USB
Yeah?
sticks?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we might not print, I think we might put our album on that
Yeah.
with some pictures and then sell those at gigs.
I've picked up that's more or less the trend now.
Uh,
Minimum to almost no CDs and then USB sticks, and then obviously mostly online on social
yeah,
media, yeah,
yeah.
platforms
And
now.
even a record would be cool, but I don't know if we're going to do that.
Oh yes, you can actually do that still today,
Oh,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Which one is your favorite? If you can choose to have your favorite song on either online USB stick, CD, or physical record.
We've just recently, Andre's father gave us a record player, so I think I would pick record.
Yeah.
There's something about it, sort of taking it out of the
There's
sleeve and putting it on the player and dropping the needle. You can
definitely there's
hear
definitely
it.
something
Yeah. And
else.
there's a sound quality that you can only really get with records as
Yeah.
well.
It's strange how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when you two sit together and write a song, when do you get to the same conclusion? Okay, the song is finished, and this is the name of the song. Because I think that has to be the hardest part is actually stepping back and saying, okay, it's done.
I'm usually the guy who says we're done. Andre always wants to keep working, um, and making it better and making it better. But I'm the one who usually says, "Okay, cool, we've got it." And it's just a feeling that I get when a work has been completed.
And with the name of the song,
The name usually comes up from the lyrics somehow, or is somehow connected. It'll come to us sort of either physically, it'll be a word in the song,
yeah.
or as an idea. But
Okay.
it's definitely something that sort of wells up inside you.
Yes.
Um, at least for me.
Yeah. I can think that's difficult sometimes.
Yes, I think it can be. I haven't had trouble, but I think it can be quite difficult because it's almost a summing up of the song. So you have to get it right.
Yeah. And what's the most the best achievement you've received from the band Inc. that you are proud of saying, no, we received this award for this achievement that we did. What's the most important achievement for the band?
I'm trying to remember the Afri-Indie Awards. We were nominated for an Afri-Indie Award this year, and that I'm very proud of that in for our first album.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And for everyone listening in, can you give a bit more background about that award?
Um, it's it's for independent musicians in
Yeah.
South Africa. It was beautifully organized, but also by Ria LaRue. And it was a really glamorous evening where we all it felt like going to the Grammys. It was fabulous. The whole thing was fabulous, and a lot of good artists that don't have the backing of a record company were spotlighted, which is so helpful in this industry.
Yeah, and I think a award like that motivates an artist or musician just to go one step further in their
Yes.
career. Definitely.
It's difficult to keep working with no recognition.
Yeah,
You know, struggling to get people to your gigs, never getting anywhere really, and to have someone sort of show up and say good work. Um, it really does a lot for you as an artist.
yes, okay, that's amazing. If I quickly remember now, you said more or less you wrote 10 songs, he wrote about 30, 40 maybe. So
Yes,
in total, we can say around about 50 songs.
yes.
Now,
Not all finished. Some are
yeah,
just scraps.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
about that.
If you can go to one of the scraps or those that are in draft, maybe.
Yeah.
Which one is the closest to finished? Without saying the name of the song, do you have
Mm.
one that's almost ready?
I don't, but I can give you two lines of a
Yeah.
song I've been struggling with for about 6 weeks. Shall I do that?
Yeah, you can give me two lines.
I fell in love with the moon, you see, but the moon she never cared for me. So
Ah, okay.
that's the song I'm trying to write at the moment.
Okay. One thing I noticed about the songs is some of them are Afrikaans and then others are English. Do
Yes.
you just go by inspiration, or do you deliberately choose Afrikaans or English?
Well, Andre is Afrikaans, so he writes in Afrikaans.
Okay,
So ek moet maar dan sim.
Afrikaans, ja.
En is niet baie rehearsal want my Afrikaans is nie baie goed nie. Ek kan verstaan, mooi verstaan, maar
Yeah.
ek sukkel om te praat. And then if I write, it's in English.
Okay.
So that's again why we need so much rehearsal because it's in a second language for me.
Yeah, so it's also it's a second language and you have to memorize every word from that song.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
it's
a
really hard.
challenge.
Yes, yes, it's really hard. And also because Andre writes quite conceptual and sort of, he doesn't write physical story songs. So it's not, verse one, you meet a girl, verse two, your guy steals your girl, verse three, you kill a guy. It's much more idea driven, the lyrics. So it's difficult to remember them, but I try.
Yo, I think it's a it's an exceptional job if you can remember every verse from a song, especially if it's around 40 songs. I mean,
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So when we're coming up for a gig, we'll get our set list down and then just rehearse those. So it's not like I carry 40
yeah,
perfectly
yeah.
executed songs in my head, but yeah.
But how do you choose a set list for a particular gig?
I think you go on the vibe of the venue,
Okay.
and also what you want to play, really. So we'll. It's quite organic. We'll sit down with a list of all the songs we do, and then try and craft a set that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so it works for an audience.
Yo, okay. Because
Yeah.
it's always difficult for me because I know the artist, I know the musician, and I listen to them and I think, okay, which song they're gonna do next, and I say, okay, it's that one. You know, listen and again, next song, oh, okay, that
Oh,
one.
you try to guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you right a lot?
No, no, no. I was always just when I'm listening to them, always curious about which songs are they gonna perform because
Yeah.
you never see the songs. You always they always just advertise. Um, they're gonna perform here this time
Yes. Yeah.
at
You
this
never know what's
place.
coming. Yeah.
You never know what song. You never know if it's your favorite song that's gonna be sung at the performance or not. You just hope for the best.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. It's like a journey that the musician takes you on.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
do you take requests from the audience?
We do. We don't really do covers. If we do covers, we do old time bluegrass music.
Okay.
So we don't really have that kind of crowd. But I would try if I got a request, and if
No.
I knew it, I would sing it for the person.
Dis ja, skiet so uit die heup uit.
Yeah, yeah, ek sou moes. Yeah,
Yes, I think there's a lot of behind the stories that every artist or musician, um, basically every artist can tell, even if they might just perhaps write a book at the end of their career, just showcasing some of their favorite moments, some of the most, I almost want to say, most difficult challenges they had to face over the
I think
years.
that's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can ask you, which is one of the most difficult challenges you had up until now in your career?
Um, I think I had a gig where I had no sound. I couldn't hear myself on stage.
Yeah.
So I had to just wing it, and it was very difficult because what the audience hears is not what you hear on stage. You've got a different sort of setup, so you can hear your voice, and I can hear if I'm in key. And I couldn't hear the guitar very well, and I couldn't hear my own voice, and I had to do an hour gig anyway. I managed, but it was very difficult.
Yeah, I can think it's difficult. So you only sing, and Andre sings, but also with a guitar.
Yes, he plays the guitar as well. Yeah, I just sing.
Okay. And have you ever played the guitar?
I can play it a little bit. I can also play a little bit of piano, but not well enough to accompany myself or to play live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to do in the future, or just stick to the sing?
I think I would like to learn. I'm thinking about starting the steel string guitar and
Yeah.
learning that because I like country music, and Andre was telling me that the steel string guitar is best for those kind of tunes
Okay.
because you get a specific resonance. So I'm thinking maybe 2025 I'll start guitar lessons again.
Yeah. New Year's resolutions, eh?
Yeah.
But you have to start it now. That's the catch. Don't start it
Yes.
next year. Start it
No,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, wow. But Ilse, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much for
thank you
having me.
for just telling us a bit more about ink, just so everyone in the audience listening just can get a better picture of the band, better picture of where you came, where you are now, where you want to go, and just a bit more about you. And of course, you gossip a lot about Andre, so now they have a bit more background info. So when they see him, it's like, Andre, I know a few things about you.
Yes. Yes, you tell him.
Okay, so but all the best to your performance and your gigs and everything. I hope you can write 50 more songs,
Thank you
Afrikaans
very
and
much.
English. And follow next year I'm gonna follow up regarding the guitar lessons.
Yes, I'll have you be my judge. I don't know what the word would be. My check to
Yeah,
see that I'm on track.
no, I'll check. I'll check. So Ilse, thank you so much. And if everyone listening, check out this afternoon with Drickers for another episode of School Compass. We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.